Hello, my friends, and welcome to a brand new episode of Discourse in Magic. My name is Jonah Babbins, and today we are talking about card tricks, specifically one type of card trick, the counting card trick, where you end up counting to a number. It could be in any card or a number. It could be, a card of position. It could be weighing the cards, an actual trick where you are dealing lots of cards. And in this short episode, I am going to make a case for counting tricks and why I love them so much. And this, by the way, is an excerpt from my lecture notes, which you can only see if I lecture in your city. So if you want me to lecture in your city and you want to get some lecture notes and you want to make that happen, then you can email me, magic@torontomagiccompany.com, and we will see if we can make our way to your city in 2024. But today, we are talking about a case for counting tricks. And maybe when you hear counting tricks, you immediately think of some of the problematic counting tricks. I mean, the best example that I can give you is the 21 card trick. And what I'm hopefully going to express to you in this episode is that most of the challenges that you have with counting tricks are actually with dealing tricks. It's tricks where you are dealing for a long period of time without any justification for why you're doing it. And I would be inclined to agree with you. If you don't have justification for why you're dealing through lots and lots of cards, if you don't have a reason for the actual counting through the cards, and what you're doing is boring. And for the most part, I think audiences are smart, and they know that when you are dealing through a deck, maybe over and over and over again, that there's some sort of mathematical mumbo jumbo going on. And you probably know of a couple of tricks that are mathematical card tricks in nature, and they probably deal with lots and lots of dealing. And those are not the ones that I am making a case for. I am making a case for when you count and you get closer and closer to the number. I routinely do someone names a card in a position, somebody names a card and you deal until somebody says stop. I do a multi-phase weighing the card trick where I end up counting through more than half of the deck multiple times, and people go crazy. And here's why I think that is. Usually if you're doing a card trick, and you want to build a little bit of suspense, what that looks like is maybe someone picks a card, they shuffle inside the deck, you get a card out, and then they name the card, and you look at the card, and maybe pause for a second, and look at them, and you're trying to build this drama. You're trying to manufacture drama by not just turning over the dang card. And if a card is at a position, like the 21st position, for example, you actually have to count one by one to get to that position. There's no other way to get there. So instead of there being manufactured drama, which I think an audience can feel, that you're just delaying turning the card over for suspense, now there is built-in drama. The best, example that I can give outside of card magic is the nest of boxes. As you're opening a box and a smaller box and a smaller box and a smaller box, getting closer and closer to what is going on, their anticipation and their excitement and the suspense is building, because there's no other way for you to get to that smallest box in the middle aside from opening the biggest and then the next and the next and the next. So the first reason why I love counting card tricks is because there is embedded suspense. It's not manufactured. You're not faking it. You're not adding it to just add some tension and try to get a stronger reaction. It is built into the magic. But the second reason why I love counting card tricks is because you become the conductor. One big thing in magic that I'm a big fan of, and I loved Tamariz's writing on it in the Magic Rainbow, is about rhythm. There is rhythm in magic when somebody's picking a card, when you're returning it, when you're building suspense. There is rhythm. Quite literally, the drama gets closer and closer and closer. Or right now I'm playing with a anniversary waltz with hold your hands together. Boom, and then there's a moment, and then they open, and there's reaction. You can imagine, you could actually draw out the rhythm of what a trick looks like. Maybe the suspense is building, maybe there's climax, but there's rhythm built into different magic tricks. I know that's kind of a weird explanation, but hopefully you understand what I mean. Imagine you tear a card once, and then you tear it again, and then you put your hands together, and then boom. It restores. There's rhythm to those moments, how long you want to pause between each thing. And I love counting card tricks because you become the conductor of that rhythm. You can decide at what pace you are getting towards the punchline, getting towards the climax. And for me, I'll often, let's say something is like 30, the number 30, I'm going to count to 30 right now, but you'll see what I mean. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I do that like a joke. I take a big breath and then I go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. This is number 30. You want one more? Did you want one less? You're happy? Amazing. Boom. And you turn over. And you can see that as I go through the trick, I actually get louder and louder. I'm putting these pauses in to help build the suspense and to help get the anticipation going. And I basically get to conduct the rhythm of the finale of the trick. I get to conduct the rhythm of how people respond. And if you've ever played with card magic like this, imagine you're left with 4 cards left. You could just say, maybe you had 20 cards and now you snap another 4. You could spread and you could say I have 4, or you could say, but now I'm left with exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Another example is like the 6-card repeat, where the way you're saying it, I'm left with exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So maybe I've given you a couple of examples here of how rhythm works in Magic, but in a counting trick, you get to dictate the rhythm. You get to be the conductor. You can get louder as you get closer to the number. You can go slower as you get closer to the number. You can really decide how people are experiencing the punchline of this trick. And like I said earlier, it is not manufactured. It's not fake. It really has to be that way. If the card is the 30th, you have to deal 30 cards. There's no other way to get there. So I implore you, I encourage you to go and explore some weighing the card tricks and some any card and any number tricks and any sort of trick where a card is left in a position or you have to actually count the number of cards, and the actual quantity of cards makes a difference to the punchline. There are lots of any card, any numbers. There are lots of different weighing the card tricks. These are tricks that are in my staples. For Magic, sometimes I'll have someone name a small number, sometimes do a large number, sometimes do a stage version of the trick. But these are some of my staples because not only do you get to build tension yourself as you get closer and closer to the punchline and build that crescendo and build that huge response and huge moment, but also you can choose the rhythm. You can decide exactly how you want to arrive there and take the audience with you. And sometimes when you're speaking, you can't dictate how people are intuiting the rhythm. But when you are counting, you are actually sharing with them beat for beat for beat for beat exactly how they should be taking it in. And in my case, and in your case now or later or before, I assume that you get incredible reactions because you get to slowly and slowly get to the climax, get to the finale, and build the timing in for them to experience. So my case for counting tricks is 3 things. Number 1, you're probably confusing it with dealing tricks. I don't like dealing tricks. I like counting tricks. That's number 1. I don't like when there's mathy mumbo jumbo because the audience can often feel it. I like math tricks, but not when the audience can feel it, which is in dealing tricks. So reason number 1 is you're probably confusing it with dealing tricks. Number 2, because you get to build tension. The best example I can give you is like the nest of boxes, that there is built-in tension, not manufactured tension, but built into the trick. And then number 3, you can actually choose the rhythm of the finale of this trick and build for a stronger response and a stronger reaction. I hope you learned something from this. I hope more than anything that this encourages you to do some counting tricks, any kind of numbers, weighing the cards, things like that. This is one of the reasons why I love memorized deck work. If you find me at a convention, spoilers, I probably have a memorized deck on me because I love this style of Magic. I love this kind of trick. I love building the suspense, and I hope that you do too. So hope you learned something from this episode. I hope you liked it. If you have a friend who hates dealing tricks, you can send this to them. But if you just generally like to be here, then I like that you're here too. So thanks so much for being here. Thanks for listening. Spread the word, tell a friend, and I'll see you next Thursday. Ciao.